For long mountain hikes, when you're looking for a load hauling backpack that is feature rich, turn to the Deuter Futura Vario 55+10 SL pack. This pack is going to give you all the organization you need to get your hands on your gear when you want it, and it has a very technical back panel and suspension system. It's going to keep you comfortable for long days, long miles on the trail under the weight of a heavy load. We'll take a look at the suspension system first and talk about why it's so technical and so great for those load hauling trips. First thing to call out here, you do get a pretty rigid suspension system. You have a very lightweight spring steel frame behind the scenes here. You can kind of see it back there. It is pretty lightweight and it's a little bit flexible, so as you move, the pack is going to flex with you, but it does give all that rigid support that you need. So then in front of that, you have your back panel that's going to come into contact with your back. This is a really ventilated system. So as you can see, you've got all of that mesh right there. It's kind of a trampoline style back panel. I can put my hand behind there so you can just see how ventilated that is. That's going to really cut down on hot spots and going to cut down on sweating. So it's going to keep you really comfortable on the trail. This is the Air Comfort back system. So very comfortable with all of that padding and all of that 3D air mesh that you get in the shoulder straps and down on the hip belt. The shoulder straps and hip belts are very contoured. This is the SL version, stands for slimline. So it's the women's specific version. The shoulder harness is a little bit more narrow. The straps are a little bit more narrow, more contoured. Even things like the buckles are a little bit smaller to accommodate smaller frames. And the same thing on the hip belt. It's a women's specific hip belt. It contours to a woman's frame, and you've got all of that ample mesh that you need for breathability and all of that padding in the hip belt. Something very special about the hip belt, it's Deuter's Very Flex belt. So as you can see, the belt kind of pivots here independently of the rest of the back panel. This is really important when you have a heavy load and you're moving, maybe hiking uphill, downhill, and your hips kind of pivot independently of the rest of your back. This is going to cut down on hot spots and it's really going to keep you comfortable. This is an adjustable suspension system, so it's really easy to adjust. It's Deuter's Very Fit suspension system. So this whole panel right here, your shoulder harness, is able to move up and down on that back panel. All you have to do is loosen those load lifter straps, loosen this red strap in here, and then you can move that up and down. So you get a perfect fit. You can really dial in the exact fit that you need. If you need it to be a little taller, a little bit shorter, it's really easy to adjust. And then all you have to do is just pull down on that and just make everything fit snug. You do have your load lifter straps at the top, and these even have an extra bit of adjustability, so you can dial in where that pulls on the shoulder straps. Below that, your adjustable sternum strap. The sternum strap is really stretchy, so it gives you all the support that you need there on that shoulder strap, but it also flexes, so as you breathe, it's going to allow you to breathe really well. This is hydration compatible, so you can put up to a 3-liter hydration system in here. It's sold separately, but you can route it out through either side and put the hose through one of these sides. So it's really easy to use there. And the suspension system in general, super comfortable, very easy to adjust for the perfect fit. And with all of those technical features, you're going to stay really comfortable on the trail. The pocketing and organization gives you ample pockets everywhere that you need to store your gear. So starting in the front, you do have a hip belt pocket on either side. This is big enough to accommodate a phone, a GPS, or maybe some snacks. So I love hip belt pockets right there on the front. This is a top floating lid, so this lid is able to adjust up and down depending on the size of the load that you're carrying. A mid-size pocket up here with zipper access into the back of that lid. Turn the pack around, stretchy water bottle pockets on either side with compression there in front of that so you can really compress it down. And two pockets that I really like about this pack. You've got one on either side. I have this one packed out, but on the other side I just have it I just have it empty. But you have a long zipper right here on this side, and you can access this side pocket. So longer items or items that you want to store kind of on the sides, you want to get your hands on quickly, you can do that. But this is a bellows pocket. So if I turn it around to the other side, I don't have this pocket packed out. So you have a lot of versatility with this pack. When you're not using that pocket, it's not in the way. It cinches down really nicely with those compression straps. You've got a smaller pocket right here on the front. This could be a map pocket, put an extra layer or something in there, and you have zippered access right there on the top. This is a top loading pack. You also have access into the sleeping bag compartment in the bottom. Sleeping bag compartment's really nice because you have a divider in between the bottom and into the body of the pack. So if you want, you can open up this divider and just have one big pack there, or you can divide it out. So it makes it really versatile. Even if you've got some wet gear or wet items, you can store them down here instead of that sleeping bag, so you can kind of chamber those off. But really nice sleeping bag compartment down on the bottom. And then another thing I really appreciate about this pack in particular is the access that you get into the middle of the pack. So you do have a big U-shaped zipper all along here, and that allows you access into the middle, the top, and the bottom of your pack. It also makes this pack really great for travel. So as you can see, I can just open that up. It's a really big panel, and I can get hands on gear when I need it. So bottom, middle, and top access into the pack. We'll take a look at the top access and all the other features. I mentioned this is a floating lid. So the lid is able to go up and down, and this top collar is where the backpack gets the +10 in the name. You have an extra 10 liters of capacity right here on the top of the pack. So before, I just had it packed down to here. You can cinch that down. But if you're traveling and you need some extra room, or you just need bigger capacity in this pack, you can pack it out all the way up to here. These cinch straps that attach to the lid are extra long, so you can really put those up. The lid is floating up and down, and that's going to accommodate a lot bigger loads. So again, more versatility with this pack. Just to show the top access here, you have a really big opening here on the top, so I can access all the gear that I need. This is also where you can access the hydration compartment. So on the front here, you have some trekking pole attachment loops. Those are bungees. You've got some other places where you can lash gear on any of these compression straps, and you even have some tool loops on the bottom. There's an included rain cover right here on the bottom. It's tucked away, so you don't notice it when you're not using it, but it comes in handy and adds a lot of value to the pack. So the rain cover is tucked away down here on the bottom. It's custom fit for the pack, and it's definitely going to protect your pack and the gear inside. So all of the features of this pack make it really versatile, from anything from backpacking, adventure travel, mountaineering, climbing, or anything else you can throw at it. It is the Deuter Futura Vario 55+10 SL pack.